Welcome back to my channel. Today we will learn about the issue that has captivated fans of The Bold and the Beautiful, the emotional climax of Liam Spencer's life-threatening battle with a brain tumor and the medical miracle that brings him back from the brink of death. This is a story of scientific breakthrough, family unity, personal courage, and the resilience of love. After weeks of emotional build-up, tearful goodbyes, and impossible choices, Liam's journey takes a dramatic turn, thanks to one woman, Dr. Grace Buckingham. Let's walk through every step of this gripping and inspiring arc. At the heart of this story is Grace Buckingham, the brilliant and dedicated doctor who has spent countless hours studying Liam's complex and rapidly progressing brain tumor. From the beginning, the odds were against them. Liam's condition was diagnosed as terminal, with the tumor in a delicate and dangerous position in his brain. Previous scans and medical opinions all concluded that surgery was too risky. The prognosis was grim. Liam had only a few months to live, and there was little to be done beyond managing pain and spending time with loved ones. But Grace refused to give up. Working day and night, poring over international case studies, reviewing surgical innovations, and consulting with colleagues around the world, Grace eventually developed a new surgical method, one that offered a real shot at removing the tumor safely. It was untested in Liam's specific case, and it carried serious risks. But for the first time, it gave Liam a chance. A real, medical chance to fight back. Grace brought her findings to Dr. John Finnegan and Dr. Bridget Forrester, two of the top physicians connected to the family. Both were stunned by the innovation of Grace's proposal. The procedure involved a new combination of microsurgical mapping and neuroguided laser precision, a cutting-edge technique that had only recently emerged in advanced medical centers. For Liam, whose tumor had begun to grow aggressively in recent weeks, it was now or never. Finn and Bridget were cautiously optimistic, but undeniably excited. Grace had done what no one else had, she had found a path forward. The only question left was whether Liam would accept the risk. Grace sat down with Liam to explain everything. She didn't hide the dangers. Even with this new technique, the tumor's location made the procedure delicate. There was a small chance of complications, even death on the operating table. But there was also a chance for a full recovery. Liam didn't hesitate. After weeks of watching his loved ones suffer, after realizing how precious every moment with Beth and Kelly truly was, Liam was ready to fight. He told Grace, Finn, and Bridget that he wanted the surgery. He wanted to live, not just survive, but be present. To watch his daughters grow up. To walk Beth down the aisle one day. To be there for Kelly's first heartbreak, for every milestone, for every moment. That hope, that vision, gave him the strength to go forward. The surgical team prepared quickly. The tumor was growing faster than expected, pressing against Liam's brain and threatening his motor skills and memory. Waiting was no longer an option. On the day of the surgery, tension gripped every corner of the hospital. Hope Logan, Steffi Forrester, Brooke Logan, and Bill Spencer stood outside the operating room. United despite years of conflict and drama, the four of them waited in silence, each carrying the weight of their history with Liam. Hope, holding back tears, clutched a drawing Beth had made for her father, a small, colorful note that read, "You're my hero, Daddy." Steffi remained composed, but her eyes never left the door. Brooke stayed close to her daughter, offering quiet strength. Bill paced back and forth, trying to keep himself from breaking. This was his son. His firstborn. And now, all he could do was wait. Inside the operating room, Grace led the team with unwavering focus. Finn and Bridget were by her side, assisting with every step. The tension was palpable. Every incision, every move was made with microscopic precision. At one point, the tumor's proximity to a major artery created a moment of alarm, but Grace's steady hands and quick thinking stabilized the situation. Hours passed. The team worked with tireless concentration, navigating the maze of nerves and blood vessels with tools smaller than a fingertip. It was one of the most complex surgeries the hospital had ever seen. Finally, Grace stepped back. The tumor was out. Completely removed. No bleeding. No complications. No signs of residual damage. The operation was a success. Grace emerged from the OR, exhausted but triumphant. She walked straight to the waiting room, where Hope, Steffi, Brooke, and Bill stood to attention the second they saw her. With a smile, the first real smile in days, she gave them the news: Liam made it through. The tumor is gone. He's going to live. The room erupted in tears. Hope broke down in Brooke's arms. Steffi turned away, wiping her face. Bill, overcome with emotion, buried his face in his hands and whispered, "Thank you." It was a moment of overwhelming relief and gratitude. When Liam woke up hours later, his first vision was of Hope and Bill at his bedside. His voice was weak, but clear. He asked one question: "Did it work?" When they nodded, the smile that crossed Liam's face was filled with everything: gratitude, peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. Liam's recovery was quick. Within a week, he was walking with assistance. In 2 weeks, he was speaking fluently, joking with Bridget, hugging Finn, and holding Beth in his arms. The joy in his eyes when Kelly ran into his hospital room shouting "Daddy" was something no one present would ever forget. Liam later sat down with Grace privately to thank her. There were no cameras. No press. Just a heartfelt conversation between a patient and the doctor who saved his life. Liam told Grace that she hadn't just given him more time, she had given his children their father. That without her, he would be a memory instead of a presence. Bill also expressed his gratitude. In a rare moment of vulnerability, the powerful mogul broke down in front of Grace, telling her that he would never forget what she had done. He told her that she had given him back the most important person in his life. That no amount of money, power, or influence could ever repay what she had done. Grace, ever humble, credited the team: Finn, Bridget, the nurses, the techs. But everyone knew that without her relentless determination, Liam wouldn't be alive. The ripple effect of Liam's recovery began almost immediately. Hope found new strength and clarity. Her devotion during Liam's illness reminded everyone of the depth of her love, and the unshakable connection between them. Steffi, too, softened. She had spent weeks preparing to grieve, trying to stay strong for her children. Watching Liam recover gave her a renewed appreciation for life and family, a reminder that love can endure even the darkest moments. Brooke, ever the matriarch, held her family together during the ordeal and now stepped back with pride, seeing her daughter emerge stronger than ever. And Bill, now faced with the miracle of his son's survival, began re-evaluating his life, his priorities, and his future. As for Grace, her career would never be the same. Word of the surgery spread fast. Medical journals requested interviews. Hospitals asked for lectures. Patients from around the world began seeking her out. But to her, none of that mattered more than the moment she stood by Liam's bed and saw him breathe, speak, and smile again. The journey from despair to hope, from helplessness to healing, is what the bold and the beautiful does best. And this arc, centered on Liam's near-death experience and miraculous recovery, delivered everything fans hoped for: tension, drama, tears, and triumph. What comes next for Liam remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, he is alive. He has been given a second chance, and he intends to live it fully. Next, we will explore the dizzying romantic roller coaster that is Hope Logan's love life on The Bold and the Beautiful, with poor Carter Walton caught in the turbulent crosswinds of her indecision. From desperate pleas to her ex to sudden declarations of devotion, Hope's emotional flip-flops are giving everyone, especially Carter, whiplash. Let's unpack the messy web of feelings, mixed signals, and hidden fears driving this drama, as we dive into recent episodes, add fresh perspectives, and speculate on where this chaotic romance might lead. Get ready for a deep dive into heartbreak, hope, and the quest for true connection in the glamorous yet treacherous world of Forrester Creations. Hope Logan's heart seems to be caught in a relentless tug-of-war, with Carter Walton bearing the brunt of her unpredictable swings between longing for the past and grasping at a new future. Just days after pouring her soul out to Liam Spencer, pleading with him to rekindle their once passionate bond, Hope did an abrupt about-face in Tuesday's gripping episode. With a radiant smile, she gazed into Carter's eyes and proclaimed him the right man for her. A statement that felt both sudden and jarring given her recent actions. Imagine Carter standing there, his heart likely skipping a beat, while his mind races to reconcile this declaration with the tearful desperation Hope showed for Liam mere hours earlier. Is she truly committed to building something real with Carter, or is this a fleeting moment of clarity in a storm of confusion? Her words carry weight, but her history of wavering emotions casts a long shadow over their sincerity. To fully grasp the whirlwind of Hope's romantic journey, we must rewind through the chapters of her tumultuous past, a saga that has left fans both captivated and frustrated. After her marriage to Liam crumbled, Hope embarked on a fiery fling with Thomas Forrester, igniting a passionate but ultimately doomed affair. She reveled in the intensity of their connection, only to shatter Thomas's dreams when the prospect of commitment loomed large, leaving him heartbroken on the sidelines. Not long after, in a move that stunned even the most seasoned soap viewers, Hope turned her affections toward Finn, her ex-stepsister Steffi's husband, chasing a forbidden fantasy that fizzled out before it could truly ignite. Picture Hope at a glamorous Forrester event, her eyes lingering on Finn across the room, weaving daydreams of a life that could never be, until reality snapped her back. It was only then that Carter, a steadfast friend and confidant, revealed his deep feelings for her, casting their bond in a surprising new light. This whirlwind of romantic pursuits paints Hope as a woman searching for something, or someone, to anchor her restless heart. The drama reached a fever pitch last week when Hope, raw with longing, threw herself at Liam's feet, her voice trembling as she begged him to take her back. The scene was drenched in desperation, as if she were clinging to the last vestiges of a love that once defined her entire world. Visualize her in Liam's cozy living room, memories of happier times flooding her mind, shared laughter, tender moments with their daughter Beth, fueling her plea for a second chance. Yet Liam, with a heavy heart, saw through the facade, noting the absence of that once vibrant spark in her eyes. His rejection was a cold splash of reality, cutting through her illusions and leaving her visibly shaken. It's a moment that underscores the depth of Hope's inner turmoil, a woman grappling with the ghosts of what was while struggling to define what could be, her emotions laid bare for all to see. Tuesday's episode brought a new twist as Hope, buoyed by the exciting news of reclaiming her position at Forrester Creations, faced Carter with a mixture of enthusiasm and apprehension. The joy of her professional triumph, a return to the design empire where her creative spirit thrives, briefly illuminated her face, perhaps reminding her of the strong, independent woman she aspires to be. Yet, Carter couldn't ignore the looming question that hung between them like a storm cloud. With quiet intensity, he confronted her about overhearing her impassioned pleas to Liam, his voice steady but his eyes searching for truth. In response, Hope met his gaze with unwavering conviction, assuring him that he had always been the man destined for her. Picture the charged silence that followed, Carter's brow furrowing as he processes this bold claim, while Hope's heart pounds with the hope that he'll believe her. But can anyone, Carter included, fully trust a declaration that seems to rewrite months of visible yearning for others? Carter Walton, masterfully portrayed by Lawrence St. Victor, embodied a storm of bewilderment in that pivotal moment, his confusion mirroring the audience's own. His expression was a canvas of doubt and longing, as if someone had just handed him a puzzle with half the pieces missing. Envision Carter replaying Hope's words in his mind later that night, alone in his sleek apartment, the city lights of LA casting shadows on the walls as he wrestles with whether to take her at face value. Body language often speaks louder than words, and Hope's hesitant embrace in that scene hinted at an undercurrent of uncertainty, reminiscent of her past inability to fully commit to Thomas. Her hug, meant to reassure, instead revealed flickers of doubt, a subtle tightening of her shoulders that betrayed her inner conflict. For fans, it's a haunting echo of patterns that seem etched into Hope's romantic DNA, raising the question of whether history is doomed to repeat itself. Peeling back the layers of Hope's behavior reveals a deeper, more poignant truth: she appears to be running from the specter of solitude. After Liam's stinging rejection, she darted back to Carter's comforting presence with a speed that suggests less about passionate love and more about self-preservation. Think of Carter as her emotional harbor, a safe port in a tempest of failed romances, rather than the grand love story she claims to envision. It's akin to settling for a familiar diner meal when the gourmet restaurant of her dreams turns her away at the door. Her actions paint a picture of a woman who dreads standing alone, her choices driven by the need for connection, any connection, rather than a clear-eyed commitment to Carter. This vulnerability adds a tragic dimension to her character, as viewers witness her floundering to find stability in a world where love has so often slipped through her fingers. Looking ahead, there's a strong likelihood that Carter's patience and perceptiveness will soon reach their limit, potentially steering this storyline toward a dramatic reckoning. He's a man of intelligence and experience, having endured his share of romantic burns in the past, from failed engagements to fleeting passions. Imagine Carter sitting across from a trusted friend like Ridge at a quiet cafe, voicing his growing unease about being Hope's fallback option rather than her first choice. If Hope continues this game of emotional ping-pong, she risks pushing him towards someone new, perhaps Daphne, a captivating newcomer whose interest in Carter has already sparked whispers. Picture Daphne, with her bold confidence, crossing paths with Carter at a Forrester gala, offering him a genuine smile that contrasts sharply with Hope's wavering affection. Could this be the wake-up call Carter needs, a chance to be someone's undeniable priority rather than a consolation prize? As we ponder the future of this tangled romance, the questions loom large. Is Hope sincerely ready to build a life with Carter, or is her fear of loneliness clouding her judgment? Might this unexpected pairing blossom into a sweeping love story that defies all odds, or is it merely a stepping stone to inevitable heartbreak? Visualize the potential for tender moments, Carter and Hope collaborating on a late-night design project, their laughter filling the air. Juxtaposed against the looming threat of unresolved feelings for Liam resurfacing at the worst possible time. My hunch is that Carter will soon see through the veneer of Hope's assurances, choosing to protect his heart before it's too late. But the beauty of the bold and the beautiful lies in its unpredictability, and only time will reveal the true path of this complicated love. Thank you for joining us on B&B Spoilers channel as we dissected the chaotic dance of Hope Logan and Carter Walton's romance. Will their bond withstand the weight of past loves and present doubts, or is a dramatic split on the horizon? We'll keep you updated with every twist and turn, so don't miss a moment. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Hope is genuine, or is Carter headed for heartbreak? Stay tuned for more captivating drama from the heart of LA.